A warm welcome to TV Africa News and thank you for always joining us. This is Africa Today. My name is Najuma Luima, but first are the headlines. President Museveni assures Ugandans of their security. Ugandans approve of government pandemic response. Nigerians debate censorship in light of shameful Twitter suspension. And in sports, Moses Magogo declared sole candidate for FUFA presidency. A warm welcome once again. Now the news in detail. A new Afrobarometer survey in Uganda has shown that a majority of citizens approve of the government's management of the response to COVID-19, although many raise concerns about corruption. More than three-quarters of Ugandans believe that at least some of the resources available for responding to the pandemic were lost due to corruption among government officials. We have more. A report by the Auditor General in March revealed significant mismanagement of COVID-19 funds. As of today, Uganda has confirmed 52,935 COVID-19 cases, 47,760 recoveries, and 383 deaths. It's upon this background that Afrobarometer, a Pan-African non-partisan survey research network, conducted a study on citizen views on COVID-19.
Very many Ugandans, close to 9 in every 10 Ugandans, say they are well informed about COVID-19, and they are also very well informed about strategies to combat COVID-19. The results also indicate that more than a half, 55% of respondents did say that COVID-19 did affect them, impact them negatively. Many of them lost jobs, lost income, and many lost businesses. Results also indicate that close to 9 in every 10 Ugandans did support the lockdown that government enforced beginning in March, even though they were aware that this lockdown will have negative impacts on the economy and on people's livelihoods. They nonetheless accepted it. The survey also shows that a big number of Ugandans, 67%, did report that they found it very difficult to comply with the lockdown, that it was difficult, and also that government assistance did not come, and only 19% say their households did receive some government relief during the lockdown. They also indicate that the government assistance packages were not distributed fairly. Okay, some 55% of the respondents did say so. Also, very important, we see that very many Ugandans, 8 in 10 Ugandans say government did very well in managing COVID-19 response at the time, but that there are big questions people ask about corruption tendencies, and also fears that government officials and politicians in particular could use the pandemic as an excuse to enrich themselves economically or to increase their power and authority in the country. With regards to the vaccine, about 71%, 7 in 10 Ugandans say at the time, they said at the time in December, that if a vaccine became available, they would most likely try to be vaccinated if government says it is safe. But the proportion of those who think that government, this is 47%, believe that government may not be able to identify, to recommend a safe vaccine. So there were fears about vaccine safety, particularly maybe from what people saw on the news or in social media from elsewhere.
According to Afrobarometer survey, more than 8 in 10 Ugandans, representing 82%, say that government has managed its response to the COVID-19 pandemic fairly well, all well. But about the same proportion of 81% believe that some or a lot of the resources available for responding to the pandemic were lost to corruption among government officials. The report indicated that nearly 8 in 10 Ugandans, representing 77%, worry about public servants and politicians using the pandemic to enrich themselves economically or increase their power and authority, which accounts for 71%. About the lockdown in the country, the study found out that about 89% of Ugandans said that the lockdown was necessary to prevent COVID-19 infections despite difficulty in complying, adding that relief aid was distributed unfairly. When asked about their willingness to be vaccinated despite doubts about vaccine safety, the study found out that almost 3/4 of Ugandans said that they are likely to try to get vaccinated against COVID-19 if a vaccine becomes available and if the government said it is safe. Moving on, most of the border riders seem to have listened to the presidential address last night, but have continued to carry 2 passengers and others without face masks, contrary to the order that directed all people to put on masks and strictly 1 passenger on a border. Narugo has more.
President Yoweri Museveni has announced fresh restrictions as part of measures to control the COVID-19 transmissions in the country in face of the second wave of the pandemic. Among the fresh restrictions, the president directed the closure of all educational institutions across the country for 42 days, effective 8 a.m. 7th June 2021. All school-going children should return to their effective homes in space of 3 days. The president noted that there have been increased clusters of COVID-19 infections in schools of late, but some schools were concealing cases, fearing that their schools could be closed. Currently, there are 948 confirmed cases of COVID-19 in over 43 schools and institutions of higher learning scattered in 22 districts across the country, with the highest number of infections reported in Kampala, Oyam, Wakiso, and Masaka districts. Before the presidential address, some educational institutions had already suspended physical learning activities to control the surging number of cases in their communities. Such schools include Green Hill Academy Secondary School, Kyambogo University, and Cavendish University. Unfortunately, Kyambogo University has lost 2 members, Doreen Mirembe Juliet, a second-year student of Bachelor of Teacher Education, who has been in intensive care unit at Victoria Hospital in Bukoto, and Sharon Atwine, a teacher in the Department of Psychology, due to COVID-19. According to the Director Human Resource, Richard Keuba Manano, in his communication to Kyambogo University community, Atwine was to be buried today in Kabingo, Rashesha, Bushenyi district. Meanwhile, the president says that if schools are reopened after the said period, all teachers will be requested to undergo COVID-19 vaccination, and those who will have shunned the jab would not be allowed anywhere near the learner. Uganda first announced the closure of schools to avoid the spread of COVID-19 in March 2020, sending 15 million children on unprecedented holidays.
Moving on, President Museveni has assured Ugandans that there is no need to worry of their security in the wake of the attempted assassination of former Works and Transport Minister General Edward Katumba Wamala. Katende has more.
Unknown assailants traveling on 2 motorcycles last week sprayed General Katumba Wamala's vehicle with the bullets, instantly killing his daughter Brenda Nantong and driver Haruna Kayondo. Since the incident, many people have expressed concern over the security of Ugandans, considering that an entire 4-star general has been targeted. Addressing the country on Sunday evening, the president assured Ugandans that security is doing everything possible to bring the situation to normal. President Museveni, however, noted that everyone has to be alert and conscious of their security, adding that be it a 4-star general or normal civilians can be attacked. Museveni also dismissed the reports of the many unresolved murders in the country. According to President, whereas some have been concluded, many of them have been dealt with and suspects arraigned into court. Katende Chabasinga, reporting for TV Africa.
Away from that, Forum for Democratic Change, FDC, has appealed to the general public to adhere to the standard operating procedures in order to help the country fight the deadly coronavirus. Nalugo has more on this story.
Addressing a news conference at their party headquarters in Najanankumbi, Deputy Party spokesperson Deus Chikonyogo urged Ugandans to take COVID-19 very serious by practicing the standard operating procedures and also taking boosters such as lemon, ginger, pineapples, etc. to boost their immunity.
FDC, we have been on the forefront from the word go. I advise our Ugandans to observe the stops, take boosters as much as possible. That's lemon, ginger, garlic, red pepper, and onions. Take them as much as possible to boost your body immunity. There's no shortcut to that as you're observing SOPs.
Chikonyogo also expressed concern about the state of security in the country and asked government to make use of CCTV cameras that were installed on major roads to crack down criminals.
Something else which is very surprising and somehow sickening is spent a lot of money on these CCTVs. I'm one of the people who believe that these CCTVs work. I believe they work. I'm a scientist.
Yesterday, while addressing the nation on the COVID-19 status and way forward, President Museveni noted that everyone has to be alert and cautious of their security, adding that be it a four-star general or normal civilians can be attacked. Nalgo Muyingo, Africa Today.
Let's go for a very quick short break. We will be right back. Congolese Prime Minister Jean-Michel Sama Lukonde's plane touched down in Goma International Airport on Saturday afternoon and took stock of the situation in Goma after the volcanic eruption.
Only 2 weeks after the devastating volcanic eruption of Mount Nyiragongo, near the eastern city in the Democratic Republic of Congo, Congolese Prime Minister Jean-Michel Sama Lukonde went directly to Goma City from the airport, as he is at the head of a ministerial team to take stock of the situation by meeting local officials and reinforce state intervention for humanitarian aid. 32 people died from lava burns or asphyxiation after the volcanic spat on May 22nd and 23rd, and 2 people died in accidents during the evacuation ordered by regional authorities. Roughly 400,000 out of an estimated 600,000 residents left the North Kivu provincial capital following a brief but powerful one-day eruption of the stratovolcano, which spans nearly 3,500 meters high and straddles the East African Rift tectonic divide.
The National Assembly of the Democratic Republic of Congo on Friday voted for a reform of the Electoral Commission in an attempt to ensure the transparency of the next 2023 elections and the political stability of the African Union.
The text adopted by 336 of the 337 deputies present out of the 500 total will now be examined by Senate and provides for an electoral commission of 15 members. Respectively, 5 representatives of civil society from the majority and opposition, which remains unconvinced, with some politicians alleging a move by President Felix Tshisekedi to legally tell the Commission for Electoral Fraud. The opposition Martin Fayulu denounced on Twitter that the forcing initiated by Mr. Tshisekedi for the parliament to unilaterally vote a law on the Senate held to prepare electoral fraud in the Democratic Republic of Congo in 2023. A candidate in December 2018 presidential election, Fayulu believes he is the real winner of the elections and that he was robbed of his victory by an agreement between the current president and his predecessor, Joseph Kabila. The electoral reform has also been denounced by Ramuko coalition, which includes Mr. Fayulu and other opponents.
Moving on, the Association of Licensed Telecoms Operators of Nigeria confirmed on Saturday that its members had complied with the federal government's directive to suspend access indefinitely to the social media network Twitter. We have more. After Friday's official suspension announcement by the Minister of Information and Culture, operators received formal instructions from the Nigerian Communications Commission, to which they complied upon a robust assessment of the request. Daniel Son Oratunde, a Nigerian Twitter user, confirms that his access to the platform has been blocked. The suspension came 2 days after the platform deleted a tweet deemed in violation of its terms of use by President Muhammadu Buhari. Ministry of Information and Culture spokesman Segun Adeyemi said in a statement Friday that the federal government has suspended indefinitely the operations of the microblogging and social networking service Twitter in Nigeria. The statement said that the president's use of the platform for activities that are capable of undermining Nigeria's corporate existence had triggered the suspension. Another group representing local telecoms, the Association for Telecommunications Companies of Nigeria, said it was working with the authorities to ensure a speedy resolution of the suspension. Away from that, as concern mounts over the political stability of Chad, the Economic Community of Central African States met on Friday in Brazzaville to discuss the future of the country with the presence of leaders from Congo, Angola, the Central African Republic, and the Democratic Republic of Congo. Let's take a look. Moussa Faki, chairperson of the African Union Commission, said that the Chadian transition needs the support of all and will succeed first and foremost with the thinking, intelligence and creativity of Chad's political and military elites. Congolese Foreign Minister Jean-Claude Gakoso called on all political actors and all active forces in Chad to bear in mind the higher interest of the nation and the good of the Chadian people, and to cooperate sincerely and effectively in order to achieve the objectives of the political transition within 18 months. Chad has a transitional government after the death of longtime leader President Idriss Déby Itno, who was killed in April, according to the army in combat against rebels in the north of the country. Just a day later, his son Mahamat Idriss Déby took over as the transitional leader and promised elections in 18 months. But the security situation in the country is fragile and the political scene is tense, causing concern that chaos could spread in the region. Let's once again go for a very quick short break. We will be right back. Welcome Welcome back. You're still watching TV Africa News, the right to know. In our business news today, Morocco's Foreign Minister Nasser Bourita met separately on Friday with both the head of the High Council of State Khalid al-Mashri, based in the Libyan capital Tripoli, and the Speaker of Libya's parliament in the east, Aguila Saleh, as part of Morocco's efforts to resolve the political crisis in Libya.
Libya is seeking to extricate itself from a decade of internal conflict that followed the assassination of Pan-African revolutionary Colonel Muhammad Abu Minya Gaddafi in the 2011 uprising backed by NATO. Previous discussions hosted by Morocco have centered on positions including Libya's central bank governor and the heads of the Electoral Commission, the Anti-Corruption Commission, and the Supreme Court. The new round of inter-Libyan talks on key institutional appointments are the latest of several held in the North African nation since September. Aguila Saleh, the Speaker of Libya's parliament, while giving his address, said that with Morocco's efforts and under the supervision of patronage of His Majesty the King, they have finally achieved the formation of an executive power based on a presidential council composed of a president and 2 deputies, and a government of national unity that has won the confidence of the House of Representatives, taken the constitutional oath, and begun its work. Germany will host a new set of peace talks later this month in capital Berlin with Libya's transitional government due to attend, as the former United Nations-led truce signed last October is to see the unification of the country's divided institutions, such as launching reconstruction efforts in preparation for the December vote.
In our health news today, the Minister of Health in Chad and other members of the ministry started receiving their COVID-19 shots on Friday in the capital N'Djamena to mark the beginning of the vaccination campaign with China's Sinopharm. The coronavirus vaccine was donated to Chad, one of the latest African countries to receive vaccine doses, and the batch of Sinopharm arrived earlier in the week. Nurse Ngastam Valerie told the media that the priority was currently to vaccinate religious pilgrims, over 65s, military troops, and health personnel. He also urged all Chadians to get vaccinated, as the coronavirus does not discriminate. Speaking to the media following his jab, he said that the vaccine is useful for everybody, as coronavirus does not recognize religion or ethnicity. Today, Chad reports 4,938 confirmed COVID-19 cases and 174 deaths, according to the figures published on the official website of the World Health Organization. In our sports news today, Dennis Onyango became the most successful player in terms of Premier Soccer League winners' medal with a record 8 league titles. The former Uganda Cranes captain was crowned on Saturday after helping Mamelodi Sundowns lift their 11th PSL title.
Alongside his captain Horom Fokekana, they are the most decorated players in the South African Premier League history, and Onyango couldn't hide his joy and posted on social media. Onyango posted on his social media pages that he was happy and proud to share this 8th title record with El Capitano Horom Fokekana in a journey full of thick and thin. The former Sports Club Villa star won 3 league titles with SuperSport United before adding a further 5 with Mamelodi Sundowns. The custodian would have been on 9 titles, but missed out on the 2013-2014 title, as he wasn't given the winner's medal in that season as he was on loan at Bidvest Weights, and the South African Premier League unallocated 35 medals for the winning team. Olonfo Kekana, the Sundowns keeper, lifted his first 2 league trophies with SuperSport United in 2009 and 2010 before moving to Bloemfontein Celtic for a season during 2010-2011 campaign. Kekana then joined Sundowns in 2011, where he was won additional 6 titles to take his start of winners' medals to 8. Katendi Chabasinga reporting for TV Africa. Today, FUFA Electoral Committee has declared the FUFA President, also the incumbent candidate Moses Magogo, as the only candidate who has managed to fulfill all the required qualifications for the FUFA presidency. Magogo was declared with his executive members including Darius Mugoya, Justus Mugisha, Nachiwala Chinyi and others at FUFA House, Mengo.
Still in sports, the chairman FUFA Electoral Committee, Matthias Bwire, has declared incumbent FUFA President Moses Magogo as the sole candidate after fulfilling all the required qualifications. The announcement was made at FUFA House in Mengo. We have more.
FUFA Electoral Committee Chairman Matthias Bwire also noted that some of the aspiring candidates requested to be added more time, an issue which wasn't corresponding with the electoral laws. The other aspiring candidates who had showed interest in challenging Magogo included Honorable Alan Sewanyana and Mojebo Kasule.
By the powers entrusted to the FUFA Electoral Committee, we hereby declare Mr. Moses Magogo Hassim and his listed executive members as duly nominated with all requirements provided as per the FUFA Electoral Code and FUFA statutes. Thank you.
TV Africa tried to contact both Alan Sewanyana and Mujibu Kasule to have a say on the decision made by Electoral Commission. However, we failed to get them.
The 2 candidates, 2 of the 3 candidates wrote to us expressing their issues, and we've responded to them. So today, we are here to declare that the only one candidate who brought back nomination forms was Mr. Engineer Honorable Moses Magogo Hassim. And his executive was fully sent, comprising of Mugisha Justus as Vice President 1, Mr. Mugoye Darius, Vice President 2, Mr. Rigarasul, Representative for West Nile, Mr. Obote Daniel as representative for Northern Province, Mr. Ochom Richard as representative for Northeast.
The 97th FUFA Ordinary General Assembly will be hosted by Eastern Region Football Association in Mbale City on 21st of August 2021. The election of the FUFA president and his executive will be one of the eagerly awaited items on the agenda. Katendi Chabasinga reporting for TV Africa.
Now, before we end our news bulletin today, let's take a recap of our top stories. President Museveni assures Ugandans of their security. Ugandans approve of government pandemic response. Nigerians debate censorship in light of shameful Twitter suspension. And in sports, Moses Magogo declared sole candidate for FUFA presidency. That was the news. Thank you for always keeping it TV Africa. Please do stay tuned. More programming coming your way. And don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment on our YouTube channel.
This is Africa, and that was the news.